love, you're listening to the Died on Ashanta podcast. I'm a resilience strategist and migrant integration specialist who has spent the last 20 years traveling, working, and studying throughout the Caribbean, North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. As a globetrotter, I quickly learned how to bounce back from crisis and how to thrive in new and strange places. I've used my training and experience to develop a resilience-based framework, and now I help others to get over the hurdles that come with living in a foreign country. Now on this podcast, I invite you to join me on this journey of living with simplicity, joy, and resiliency. From green smoothies to goal setting, we'll cover it all. We'll talk about all the things that help us to thrive through the storm. Welcome to the Died on Ashanta podcast. This is episode 6, and today I want to tell you that you are responsible. Of course, today we're focusing on mental resilience. What are the choices that we can make that gives us that inner strength to get through challenging situations and to be joyful no matter what? And when you think about life, all of us are dealing with problems. I think there's one comedian who said, if you are not currently in a problem, you are either coming out of a problem or on your way into a new problem. So problems are common to all of us once we are living. And chances are we might find some people who are past and gone who still are dealing with problems based on the people they left behind. So what I notice is that for a lot of us, we tend to focus on the cause of a problem that we're in. Even if we're trying to look for the solution, we often try to think, what caused this situation and how can I resolve it based on the source of the problem, right? But looking for justice or looking for restoration leads to us asking questions like, who did what? And what was the trigger? What caused this? Or who reacted to it? Because sometimes you're looking to say, who did what first? And then because this person did this first, then I reacted this way. And sometimes we begin to ask, what was the motive? Why was this action taken? Why was this decision made? And the reality is that sometimes things happen that no one intended for it to happen because they were ignorant, or maybe what they intended is not what was the final result. So we can end up in a circle going around and around and just getting angry and nurturing feelings that don't help anyone. So then someone says, well, just let it go and forgive. But sometimes the guilty persons don't take responsibility for their actions. They don't acknowledge that something went wrong or that they had a part in it. Sometimes they even deny that they had anything to do with it or that they are at fault. And so because they would take that position, then of course there is no repentance or no remorse to say, I'm sorry. So then one begins to ask, can you forgive somebody if they don't say sorry? Can you get justice restored if someone is not sorry? So what do you do? Well, my recommendation is that it doesn't matter what happens. Sometimes it's an individual who offends you or creates a problem for you. Sometimes it is an organization, decisions that the organization makes. It could be the government. It could be country leaders. Whatever the source of the problem is, at all times, if you are going to take responsibility for your life, if you are going to preserve your mental resilience, then you have to protect your peace. And what protecting your peace looks like is by starting to make choices. And that's why we talk about being responsible. It's recognizing that all of us can choose what response we give to any situation that we are faced with. Now let's picture a scenario of a problem. You step outside, you're well dressed, and you're heading somewhere, and someone drives by and splashes you with mud. You're covered with mud from head to toe. You're soaking. Your gorgeous outfit that you spent lots of time putting together, it's really muddy. Now, what would you do? Do you stand there getting angry, grab a big stone and try to break the car glass? I mean, there are so many things you could do. You could report the person, but the simplest thing to do is to go take a bath. Take off the muddy clothes, take a bath, wash your clothes, because sometimes mud will stain things. Wash your clothes, get dressed, and head to wherever you're going. If you stay mad, if you try to tackle the person, if you try to get them to back in the moment to protect your peace, you just have to clean up yourself and get dressed and go. The reality is, staying in the muddy clothes, staying with mud all over your body and your hair, it hurts you. It never hurts the person who is responsible for the mud being on you. And so it's going to kill your joy. So whatever excitement you had to go out and have fun is killed just by you refusing to take responsibility for your reaction to the situation. And if you wait around for someone else to fix the problem, then that just delays your growth. It delays your opportunity to go wherever you had planned to go and enjoy yourself and have a new experience. And so the first thing we have to do when we're taking personal responsibility is to protect our peace by looking for the simplest resolution in the moment so we can move on and get ahead with our life, whether or not the persons or entities responsible take any efforts to restore the situation or to make things better. Now, once it is that you realize that you are in charge of how you respond to situations, then you will feel empowered, because at the end of the day, we can choose who we become. We can choose how we will grow and change after the problem, because we can't push a button and reset time. We can't do that. The problem has already shown up on our doorsteps, and we just have to move ahead. So once we decide who we want to become, do I want to become a person who can show up dressed, maybe a few minutes late, but dressed and looking good and ready to enjoy myself at the event I plan to go to, even though someone sprayed mud all over me? Or do you want to be the person who never showed up, your friends are wondering where you are, and you are just angry and seething and your clothes are stained? So decide who you want to be. The next thing you are going to do by taking personal responsibility is to choose what you will do. So first it's who you will be, and now it's what you will do. And it might be to the offender. Are you going to throw a stone in their car? Are you going to fight them? Are you going to tell them to pay for your outfit again? What will you do? The decision at the end of the day will come down to you. Are you going to respond in a way that allows that person to hate you or to feel pain because you felt pain at whatever happened? Or are you going to respond in a way that allows them to see you as a better person, a bigger person, someone who has grown and evolved, and that, can't be knocked down by trivial matters that comes up? And then finally, you have to decide what you will do to prevent repeats. So are you going to decide that if you're stepping outside in an outfit, you're going to look out for muddy puddles and make sure you don't stand beside one to get sprayed with mud again? Or are you going to recognize, okay, it's rainy today, so I'm going to put on a raincoat to protect my clothes? Or are you going to notice someone else standing near a puddle and warn them and say, look here, cars will splash you and you'll get dirty, step away from there? You can choose what you will do to prevent repeats. So these are simple steps that we can take, all of us can take, to make a difference in how we show up in the world, because problems are inevitable. But if we protect our peace, then we are going to use our ability to respond to all the situations that we come upon. And in that light, of course, I'm going to share with you our proverb this week, another African proverb, and it says, once you carry your own water, you will learn the value of every drop. And right now, I want you to think about your water that you're carrying as your joy, your peace of mind. And when you take responsibility for your own joy, your own peace of mind, then you're going to value it, and you're not going to choose to throw it away on some situation that is not going to make you a better person, or add to you in any way, or add to those you love. So preserve your joy, protect your peace. And of course, I have a book, and this book, oh my goodness, this book has won my heart over. I've told so many people I love about this book. I really encourage you to get a copy of this book, whether you borrow it from a library or someone, or you buy a copy yourself. Get this book. It's called When the Body Says No, and it's by Dr. Gabor Mate. And this particular book, as you go through it, there's a point where Dr. Mate starts to talk about taking agency, and developing autonomy over who you are, despite what was done to you or what experiences you've had to go through in life. Because at the end of the day, you choose who you are, what you will do to others, and how you will respond to make sure unhealthy or undesirable experiences don't repeat for you. So get this book. If you do get it, let me know. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you thought of it. And as usual, send me your feedback on this week's message about you being responsible. So that's it for this week. I hope to hear from you again about how this has impacted you and shifted your mind. Thank you for listening. Thanks so much for listening, love. If you enjoyed this episode, head over to didanashanta.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's message. Be sure to drop your email address so I can send you some helpful resources, updates, and the occasional music video that I may have on repeat. Make sure you subscribe and spread the love with someone you care about.